Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Stern Spiel, a weekly podcast where a dad and a daughter sit down and talk about all things happening in pop culture, politics, and our personal lives. This is our very first episode of Season 3. Now, you may be wondering, there's literally been 20 episodes. How can it possibly be Season 3? But that's just how we're doing it. We make the rules, and it's Season 3. Okay. So this week we have 6 topics that we're going to talk about. First, we are going to talk about Taylor versus Beyoncé. Who is the bigger pop star? Next, we're going to talk about Elton John and his vision. Some unfortunate news from Elton John's vision. We're going to talk about Idina Menzel and her new Broadway show Redwood. We're going to talk about ENRON, which is some sort of Gen Z social media reality distortion. You can tell who picked that one. We're going to talk about Hunter Biden, which is also a dad pick. And finally, we will get into some Cyber Monday deals, since it is Cyber Monday. And if you're listening to this after Cyber Monday, it's kind of just some commentary about Cyber Monday.
Yes.
So,
all commentary all the time here on the Stern Spiel.
Let us get started with Taylor versus Beyoncé. So, Billboard has recently, they decided to do this thing where every single week they've been unveiling the top pop performers of the 21st century in sort of like ranking form.
Yep.
And we're finally at number 1. People think it's going to be Beyoncé because last week they revealed that number 2 was Taylor Swift. Now, there's some discourse happening where people are like, this is not true. Like, obviously, Taylor Swift is the number 1 pop star of the 21st century, not Beyoncé. Beyoncé has been in and out.
Okay.
Ooh, that's very controversial to say.
Okay. Have you framed it up? Because I have thoughts on this.
Yeah, what are your thoughts?
All right, my thoughts are, it's very hard for me to understand who's the biggest, who's the best, what's the metric. I mean, it's zeitgeist, right? It's who's bigger. It's not dollar signs necessarily. Yeah. It's not the number of albums published. It's not how prolific they are as recording artists. It's like I hate to say it, but it's like who's got the bigger crowd size.
Do you think?
It's the zeitgeist that we're measuring here, which is amorphous and impossible to really measure.
So if it's the zeitgeist, who has the bigger footprint?
It's my perception that it might be Taylor Swift, but I will acknowledge that my perception is that Beyoncé fans run deeper than Swifties.
Whoa, okay.
Yeah.
Please, if any Swifties are listening to this, please just know I am a Swiftie. Please do not come for us for these opinions, okay?
Right.
It's just fun and games here.
That represents the individual opinion of one person, and not the show, the Stern Spiel.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
I will say this also to the Beehive. I'm sorry for anything that we say today regarding Beyoncé versus Taylor Swift.
They're both gigantic, and I'm not saying that to sort of come down the middle. I'm saying that simply to say they're both gigantic right now. But if you had asked me this question in 2005 or 2010 or 2015, I would probably have said Rihanna, or I would have had some other answer for you.
Oh, that's super true.
You see what I'm saying?
That's
so
true.
it feels like a question of the moment.
It is a question of the moment.
And to suggest, of the century is stupid because the century is not even a quarter old.
Yeah, that's the thing that a lot of people are saying. They're like, how can you say who's the best pop star of the 21st century when it's literally 2024? Like, we're not even at a quarter yet.
I don't totally get it.
Yes, Beyoncé, maybe it's not her time right this second, one could say, because she's not like in the zeitgeist like the way that Taylor Swift is with the Eras tour, and like somebody could say, oh, the Renaissance tour, but like Renaissance was last year. So it's like, okay, so Beyonce is the best pop performer of the 21st century, like, okay, but the 21st century is like a quarter of the way there.
I listen to popular music a lot, like everybody, and I don't know. I don't have that fanatical feeling about either one of these characters. So it's maybe that makes me a better judge, but it seems to me that they're both vastly popular. They're both billionaires. They both attract massive global audiences. They're kind of the same thing.
In a lot of ways, I think somebody at Billboard must not like Taylor Swift because, one, putting her at number 2 is definitely some rage bait. And number 2, there was some drama this past weekend, and Billboard had to issue an apology to Taylor Swift because they did like a retrospective video, and they included video of the Kanye West video Famous, where it's like a mannequin of Taylor Swift naked, which is like, whoa,
bizarre.
Why would they include that?
Do you think that they're going to issue an article? And the other thing is Billboard, like, do people read Billboard
online, I guess?
Or is it that the Billboard comments show up in like the next layer up of popular media, like People Magazine, quoting Billboard?
No, I think so. Billboard has a presence on Twitter, so they're doing this.
So
like
people
countdown thing.
So people are seeing that. So I don't know. Taylor versus Beyonce. It's an unanswerable question.
All right, so that was topic 1, everyone. Now we're going to move on to topic number 2, which is Elton John's decline in vision. Do you want to take this one away?
I will start this one. I watched the interview, and I apologize that I don't remember the name of the journalist, but it was a serious journalist who was interviewing him. There's this play, The Devil Wears Prada. Of course, I'm familiar with the movie.
Yes.
It's now a musical. It opened in London's West End. So it was a sort of a press media interview related to the play. Mm-hmm. And Elton John revealed that he's got vision problems. Apparently, he caught some kind of infection in the south of France, had vision problems. They got worse. They're not getting better. And he says, a very difficult time seeing. So
this is what's interesting about this story. You saw like a news article. I saw a TikTok where he was on stage at the Devil Wears Prada musical. And he was like, basically, I'm going blind. That's not a quote. But he was like, it's just really touching that I can be here today because even though I can't see it, I can hear it. And that's what music is all about. And honestly, I think this was just like shocking for a lot of people because, you never want to hear that somebody is ill. And for somebody to lose their vision,
it's hard to think about. It's very hard to think about. I did not know that The Devil Wears Prada had been turned into a musical.
Oh, yeah. So basically, The Devil Wears Prada was, they did their out-of-town tryout in Chicago. It had actually horrible reviews. So they were like, okay, we're just going to scrap everything about this. We're going to take it to London. We're going to have Jerry Mitchell direct it. And hopefully he can, do his magic on the show. And I think they're finding some success. And then I'm not sure if Jerry Mitchell is still with the project now, but basically Devil Wears Prada cast Vanessa Williams. Do you know The Devil Wears Prada?
I do. I love the movie.
You loved the movie?
Yeah, with Meryl Streep.
You loved it?
You know my theory on Meryl Streep, right?
What's your theory?
My theory on Meryl Streep is that she makes one good movie every 20 years.
Every 20 years?
Yes. And that was the last one.
What about Mamma Mia? That's a crazy take, Dad.
Yeah. But Devil Wears Prada was great. Kramer versus Kramer was very good. That might have skipped another 20 years prior. Devil Wears Prada was excellent, but I don't exactly understand how you turn it into a musical. But I'd be interested.
I don't know where it's gonna land in terms of if it will ever make it to the States. I mean, I'm sure they have their eyes set on the States, but yeah, pretty devastating news from Elton John. And the weird irony of it all is he's known for his glasses.
Yes, and it makes me wonder. Maybe he kind of always had a vision problem. I mean, didn't rise to the level of talking about it, but now he's losing his vision.
I mean,
I don't know. That may not be true.
You don't really hear about people getting eye infections and losing their vision.
But you're right. His glasses was a signature.
His glasses is a signature.
That's right.
Of like who he is and what he's all about. So really sad news for Elton John. But I guess you can't say get better because it sounds pretty permanent.
I think there is some chance of it getting better.
Oh, good. Okay.
From what I understand, it started as an infection, and it is slowly getting better. So at least that's what he said in the interview.
All right.
We all hope that Elton John's vision improves.
So we will be keeping our eye on the Devil Wears Prada musical as well. All right, that was topic number 2. Let's move on to topic number 3.
Topic number 3.
Which is some more Broadway news.
Mm-hmm.
Idina Menzel is in a new musical called Redwood.
Okay. May I explain how I found out about this?
Can I say one thing?
Yeah.
Who knows what Redwood is about?
Not me.
Okay.
Okay.
How do you know about it then?
Okay, so the way I found out about it is there was a Google trend about Yellowstone season 5.
Okay.
I do not know what Yellowstone is. I know it's a television show. I have no idea what it's about, except I see that the guy's wearing like a Texas hat.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I know about it, but it is big.
It is big.
And apparently it's in its 5th season, so I don't know what season 1 through 4 are about. I don't know what the rage is about season 5, but it's all the rage. So I kind of Googled Yellowstone season 5, and I got a big banner ad for Idina Menzel in Redwood. Preview January 24.
Oh, the previews don't start until January 24th?
That's right. So I thought, well, this is something Veronica probably knows about.
So I know about Idina Menzel returning to Broadway in Redwood, the musical. At least I can only assume it's a musical. I mean, why would you do a show with Idina Menzel and not have it be a musical? I don't know what it's about. I know it's about something about, I don't know if it's fictional. Like, I'm sorry, guys. I should have done some research. But herein lies the problem with a lot of Broadway shows that are coming to Broadway, in development.
What's the problem?
Like, they throw a big name on it and just expect people to care. But, like, we want to know what the show is about. Like, give us a little bit more. And to be fair, hasn't even started previews, which means it probably hasn't even started rehearsals yet.
Right.
So, they're not necessarily doing the marketing yet. But I believe Idina Menzel
They're doing the marketing. Because if I got an ad on Google, they spent hundreds of thousands of dollars at minimum, and probably more, because if that's showing up when I Google Yellowstone, right? Yellowstone is probably a very expensive word to buy if you know at all about how Google AdWords works, which I'm learning a lot about. You pay like a cost per 1,000 impressions based upon the popularity of the word that a person searches for. Okay. So if people are searching for Yellowstone, which is a big popular TV show in season 5, and it's all the rage, the makers of Redwood, the producers of that show, are paying a lot of money for that advertising.
Okay, but the problem is we've now been talking about it for 2.5 minutes, and we still don't know what it's about.
We don't know what it's about.
And this is just such a big problem that I think a lot of Broadway shows are having, which is like, okay, how do you reach the Gen Z audience, and how do you kind of get them to care about the Broadway show?
Or do they maybe don't care if we know what it's about too soon, because Idina Menzel is what it's about. In other words, she's larger than the plot of the show.
Well, yeah, for sure.
Right? Because my impression of Idina Menzel, I see her at, Ryan Seacrest's Rockin' Eve. I see her here and there on television.
What?
Yeah, at the end of the year.
Idina Menzel on Ryan Seacrest's Rockin' Eve?
Yeah, she sang there.
In like 2014?
Dick Clark's Rockin' Eve with Ryan. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, no, I don't know what you're talking. That's like, that wouldn't be exactly the thing that I would be like, Idina Menzel, New Year's Eve.
I'm telling you, I remember her from that. So she is kind of like synonymous with Broadway.
Well, she is
in my
Broadway.
mind, right?
Yeah.
She is Broadway. And so if you've got Idina Menzel in a show, that's more important than the title of the show, the content of the show, or anything. Idina Menzel, January 24, new musical. That's all that maybe they want us to know right now.
I guess so.
Maybe that's what's going on.
Perhaps. And did you know that Idina Menzel and Taye Diggs were married?
Did not know.
Really? You didn't know that?
I might have known it at one time and then forgot it.
Well,
I think.
got a divorce.
Oh, no. Oh, you know something? I saw an interview. I saw something on YouTube Shorts with Idina Menzel talking about that she had been married and it broke up and everything was okay, even though they were married. They're still amenable or friendly with each other.
Well, because they have a kid together, but apparently she notes that there was some issues with it being an interracial marriage.
All right. Well, we're going to have to drill down on this a little bit further in a future bit.
So let's move on to topic number 4.
Topic number 4.
Enron, you're going to have to take this one because I don't know what this is about.
I'll have to explain this one, and I'll have to give you the Gen Z recap because you just don't know about it. In the early 2000s, there was a company called, in the late 90s, there was a company called Enron, and it was in some kind of weird energy trading business, and it famously went bankrupt and blew billions of dollars of shareholder value very, very rapidly. It was almost like the kind of business story that dominates for days and weeks at a time. It almost reminds me a little bit of Sam Bankman-Fried, that downfall.
I have no idea who any of these people are.
Okay, you know about the Sam Bankman-Fried, the crypto kid who went to prison for 25 years recently? You don't know what I'm talking about? Okay, Enron was a big business failure story from the early 2000s. I mean, really big, because they were cooking the books and they made it look like the company was super profitable and everybody was making lots of money, and it was all fake and phony and nobody was making any money, and it totally went out of business, and a lot of people lost a lot of money because of Enron. It was the biggest financial fraud of its time. Fast forward. 2 dudes purchased the rights to the name Enron and the trademark, the E logo of Enron, and they started this fictitious, it's not totally fictitious, but it's sort of a fictitious company, and they created a website, and they put all this stock footage on the website, and they're making it seem like Enron is coming back, but they never, it's almost like The Office, where you don't know quite what they do.
Okay.
So they created this cooked up website, and the only thing that seems real on the website is that they're selling merch with the Enron logo on it, like hoodies and t-shirts. And it's captured the attention of the entire world because anybody that remembers Enron is like, oh my God, Enron is going to be back in business?
So this was a Google trend?
Huge.
I've never heard of this in my life.
Huge Google trend. And people are saying they're manipulated. They created a social media account with Enron, and millions of people are following it. It's almost like people are falling into conspiracy theories and memes just way too easily, and this is evidence of it. So it's like somebody on CNN called it a social media reality distortion, and that's what this is. It's just it's one of these phenomenal, it seems like there's something there, but there's really nothing there except hoodies and t-shirts.
Oh, okay. So I see. So basically these people are making their bank with oh my God, Enron's back. And then you click on the link and it's literally just hoodies and sweatshirts.
Yes, you've got 90% of it, except they've done it in a way that's so convincing that it's actually creating a lot of interest, and it's just kind of weird. It's like they're making it seem like there's a real company there when it's really just hoodies and sweatshirts. Wow. So yeah, that's Enron, and more power to them. I mean, they figured something out, and apparently they purchased the right to use Enron for $120.
Of course they did.
Yeah.
Sometimes I hear about those types of stories and I'm like, God, are these people just lucky one day that they just remember this thing, they look it up and it's available, or are they stalking it all this time? Because I'm always ooh, I should have bought stock in this, or I should have bought stock in that. Yeah. Why didn't I do that? Did you know that
hindsight is 20/20, Veronica? Apparently
your father, my grandfather, bought stock in Disney.
Well,
back in the day?
Yeah, I mean, in the 21st century, millions and millions and millions of people bought stock in Disney.
Yeah, but if you bought
How'd
stock
you find out about
in
it?
the 20th century, wouldn't it be worth so much now?
It would if you held on to it.
Oh, he didn't hold on to it.
Well, he probably sold it at a profit at some point.
Oh, okay.
And, it might not have been profitable if you sold it 20 years after you bought it. It might not have been. Who knows? That's stocks. It's not a business show. We'll come back to it another time. Go ahead.
All right, everyone.
Go
so
ahead.
That was topic number 4. Let us move on to topic number 5. Probably
5.
One of the hottest topics right now. It is Hunter Biden.
Oh, my goodness. Veronica, I mean, it's almost like I don't know where to begin on that one. It's very, very sad for Joe Biden. It's very challenging thing. Yeah.
What happened? I don't know anything
So
about
what
this.
happened here, his remaining surviving son, his name is Hunter Biden. Hunter Biden had a drug problem. And when he was in the midst of his drug problem, he filled out information on an application for a gun permit that was incorrect. There were other things that he basically has been arrested and convicted of a felony.
For the gun thing?
For the gun thing, and there was also a tax evasion problem.
Okay.
Although he claims that he paid back the taxes and then some, but there was still a tax evasion problem, and there was a gun possession problem, and there was lying on a permit, and he had problems.
Okay.
The guy had problems. He had drug problems, personal problems, and then he had legal problems.
So what's happening today?
So the bottom line on it is Joe Biden, on his way out the door, no less, on a Sunday night after a holiday weekend, while he's in Angola, by the way.
Where's Angola?
In Africa.
He's in Africa?
Joe Biden then announces, I'm pardoning my son. And not only is he pardoning his son, he's saying, I'm pardoning my son because his prosecution was politically motivated. And not only was it politically motivated, but he's going to pardon him for anything he did wrong or may have done wrong for an entire 10-year period.
So what does pardon mean?
Pardon means whatever you've been convicted of, the conviction is washed away.
Okay.
It's like it didn't happen.
So how does the President of the United States do that?
The president can do that because that is one of the powers that the president has. If you've been convicted of a federal crime in federal court, that's a system that's lorded over, for lack of a better term, by the President of the United States. So he's above the courts, he's above everything. And the President of the United States, if you have a conviction in a federal, you're convicted of a crime under federal law in a federal court, the president can make it go away. And that's what he did for his son. Now, some people will say, it's his son. He had to do it. It's his son. Joe Biden, multiple times said that he would accept the results of the court's decision and that he would not overturn that decision. He said it multiple times. What happened is the Democrats decided they couldn't win with Joe Biden. They kicked him out.
Oh, so you think this is like, okay, you guys, you guys, I'm just going to do this because it's my son and that's it. Yeah. So this is what I saw on the topic. Right. So I saw a video of Jill Biden yesterday, like hugging a bunch of kids at something, and all the reporters like, Dr. Biden, like, what do you think about President pardoning Hunter? And she's like ignoring them, which, first of all, I just want to say how disrespectful it is. I know that it's the journalist's job to like get the question, and like if they're in front of her when this news breaks, you got to do what you got to do. But it's just nasty work to do that when there's a bunch of kids standing there. It is nasty work.
Yeah, but you know what? Democracy is nasty work. I'm just going to stand on my soapbox here for a second.
Wait, one more
thing. If
thing.
You're in the arena, you got to answer those questions.
Well, she did answer the question.
Yep.
She hugged the children, and then she turned around and said, of course I support pardoning my son, or something like that. Don't quote me.
Yep.
But wow, what a precedent this sets. I mean,
it's a problem. It's very problematic because now, Trump is saying, okay, well, you pardoning Hunter Biden, I'm gonna pardon the J6 people.
Right.
Who he refers to as hostages. He refers to the January 6th convicts as hostages. And he's probably going to pardon them. And he's going to use this action by Biden to say, look, he did it too.
I'm actually like at a loss for words. Like I'm actually kind of like out of breath. Like how crazy all of this is.
So now we're in a situation where if you're wealthy and you're well connected, listen, it's never been different, but now it's sort of open. And it's not a secret anymore. It's not a question anymore. If you've got access to power or money, you've got a different justice system at your disposal. Different set of rules. And that's very, very compromising.
That's heavy on my heart.
It's a serious matter. I don't have enough legal background to untangle it, but I can tell you from my non-lawyer eye level, if I got accused of tax evasion, heaven forbid, 1,000 times over, I would have to suffer the consequences. I'd have to pay it back. I'd have to pay the fine. I'd have to do the jail time.
God forbid.
Yeah. I mean, and that's all there is to it. So.
Okay.
What do you got? Let's end on an upper. Go ahead.
Wow, that was really heavy. Our sixth and final topic of the day is Cyber Monday.
Okay.
So there's a few angles here. I know that you looked at what the top things are that people are buying on Cyber Monday.
Topic number 5, Cyber Monday.
It's topic number 6.
No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're right. Topic 6. Topic number 6. Cyber Monday. I don't understand why people are attracted to this. I understand. Here's the part I do understand. If you are a person who follows the holidays and their traditions, you have to give a lot of gifts. And so you probably have to buy a lot of stuff.
Right.
And so you're looking for opportunities to stretch the dollar. Maybe, you're searching for things to buy as gifts. And
no,
so
but the thing is, I need to know how many people on Cyber Monday are actually buying gifts. I mean, you know what? That's rude of me to say.
It's a good question.
Maybe people actually are, but from what I can tell and what I can see is people are like, best Cyber Monday deals, and people are going and buying things for themselves. I will say I bought a couple of things today.
What'd you buy?
Clothes.
Okay. So what I noticed about this when I went searching and because what I do with these Google Trends is I try to retrace the steps of the people that are making them trends, right?
Well, what did you find?
So what I found is I went searching for what are the top Cyber Monday deals, and they were in categories, entire categories of products.
What did you find?
I don't own a single product. So air fryers.
We have an air fryer.
We have an air fryer. That's true. We have an air fryer. And you know what? It was given to us as a gift.
Yeah.
Come to think of it. Oh, wow. All right. Well, there's another category, golf. I don't have a single thing in the golf category.
Okay.
There's something category baby clothes.
Well, why would you need baby clothes?
Not a category I'm in or have been in for a long time. And then there's a category called single-stroke tools. You know what that is? So these are gas-powered hedge trimmer, gas-powered snowblower, gas-powered stuff like that.
Are those really the top categories, or those are just the things you found?
They were in the top categories.
That's super surprising.
There were
to
others,
me.
but there's whole gigantic categories of stuff I don't use. I purchased something on Amazon yesterday that I want.
Okay.
Okay. It cost $20. You know me. I don't like using Prime. I'm probably going to get banned from
Amazon.
No, I'll get banned from the what do you call it? The influencer community for saying this. But I don't like having to Prime. I like buying things on Amazon.
Yeah, you use Amazon. You just don't like to pay $14.99 a month to get the expedited shipping, which is fair because you don't order. I actually do think you order enough on Amazon per month. Now that I'm thinking about it, you surely should have Prime.
Hear me out. Let me finish. Hear me out.
What were you going to say?
What I was going to say is I like to get the free shipping because I don't mind waiting a week for my product. Because
it's not free. It's not free.
No, hear me out. Hear me out.
No, I'm sorry. I have to stand on business for a second. It is not free shipping when you don't have Prime. It's not. I'm telling you, it's not. I literally don't have Prime, and I'm always spending $6.99 on shipping.
There's a button when you check out. You're in your shopping cart, right? You select all your items. You go to the next step. You select where it's going, and then it tells you, here are your shipping options.
Is there a free option?
There's radio buttons. Hear me out on this one, okay? Because it's very sneaky. The first radio button is free delivery. 2 days with a trial membership of Amazon Prime. Okay? The second radio button is free delivery 7 days. You don't have to buy anything else. The third option is 2-day FedEx.
I've never
and the
seen
next
this.
option
I've
is
never seen this.
overnight, and there's a couple of other options. So the bottom line is, if you want zero costs for delivery added to your order, you can have it. You just have to wait a few more days.
So did you indulge in Cyber Monday or not?
And here's a little secret tip just for followers of the Stern Spiel. Okay? If you click the radio button that says,
What is a radio button?
like the little circle that you press.
Why are you calling it a radio button?
Because if you have a series of choices and you press one and the other ones turn off, that's called a radio button, as opposed to a checkbox.
Well, Dad, we have 10 seconds left in this
I'm
segment.
about to explain it. You're not letting me finish. So if you select 2-day free delivery without Amazon Prime, it'll tell you that you're going to get your package in 7 days, assuming the stuff is in stock. In reality, it'll probably show up in 2 to 3 days anyway. Tip. Go ahead.
All right, guys, that was our last topic. How'd you feel about that new?
I feel like we got something done there. We'll have to see.
This
has been Stern Spiel, Volume 3, Episode 1, slightly new format. And guys, tell us if you're buying things through Cyber Monday or Black Friday. I'd really like to know how the people that watch the Stern Spiel, the Spielers, the talkers, the movers and the shakers, I would like to know what you are buying, what categories and what products you're buying using Cyber Monday offers.
All right, everybody, please like and subscribe to our channel. We would like to bring this show to you more often, but we need people to watch. So therein lies the problem. Thank you all for listening. We will see you next time on The Stern Spiel.
All right, thanks, everybody. Bye.
Bye.